morning show here on Arise News. In a little more than 48 hours, Nigeria will be opening our airspace to international commercial flight operations. And against the backdrop of what many expect to be a whole new order, when takeoff is finally achieved, the spotlight will once again be on Nigeria's level of preparedness, administratively and logistically going forward. Domestic flights are up and running, all right, but there are those who argue that things have been relatively managed well at that level because all the levers are being controlled from within. But with a more complicated level of administrative coordination, likely with international flights resumption, just how prepared is Nigeria? Did the recent shake-up at the Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority have anything to do with this? What can be done to ensure that observance of COVID-19 safety protocols remain paramount in the minds of both the administrators and the public? These are some of the questions we're about to put before our esteemed guest, Dr. Harold Demuren, an aeronautical engineer and former Director General of the Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority. Good morning, Dr. Demuren, and welcome to the morning show. Good to have you again with us on the morning show. Well, quickly, on September 5, international flights will resume. As somebody who is a major stakeholder in the aviation sector, what's your assessment of our level of preparedness? And what do you think of the protocols that have been announced by the Ministry of Aviation?
Thank you so much, Abati. Good morning, viewers.
Good morning.
I also greet you at this one, Rufai. Let me say this. We are set for this great opportunity to open our international airspace. The government has taken a very great decision and given us a date by Friday, September 5. God be with us, that airspace will be open. International flight will try to come to Nigeria. Don't forget, we successfully opened our domestic operation. We did it in phases. Now we're doing well. We'll have a lot of experience there. Now we are now going to international ones. There have been a lot of preparation, a lot of discussion with the foreign airlines, with the airport authority, with all the stakeholders in the industry, travel agents, everybody, particularly those at the airport who will handle the passengers that are coming and going out. But don't forget, as I've said before, this is not a safety issue. It's not a security issue. It's a public health issue. And we must obey all the public health protocol that have been set up. We must obey our Federal Minister of Health, NCDC, and the Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority. We're working together in this. That's what ICAO and WHO ask us to do. Those are the protocols we've set in place, and that's what we're going to do. Today, in actual fact, the Honorable Minister of Aviation and members of the PTA will be going through the two major airports that are opening, both Port Abuja and Lagos. They'll be able to see the state of the preparedness. As we did during the domestic operation, we are taking step by step, a gradual process, and phase by phase, so that we don't make any mistake. We don't want to do anything that overstretch our public health facility here at the airport or in Nigeria. So that's where we are, and we're looking up to it to start on Saturday.
But Captain, I wonder if you have any concerns. I mean, yes, we have rescheduled this commencement of flights. Yes, we are now aligning the non-aviation logistics to make sure we have a smooth operation. But the pandemic is not over, like all of us know. So do you have any concerns?
And this way, you're very, very right. The pandemic is on, not just in our country. We are seeing large numbers happening all over the world. In fact, Africa has done very well. Nigeria has been so wonderful. It's difficult, but we are making it. We are trying to stabilize our state. If you have not read the curve, but we are managing what we have. But the question you said is this. That's why we are doing all this. You cannot overstretch the facilities that are here. It's very important that the facilities are there, and those facilities are the ones that we are going to use to ensure that we get where we are. It's so important that we make sure that those facilities are available at the airport in Abuja, available in Lagos, and of course in the two cities can meet the demand of those who are coming in. So that's why this has been done. It's not, so they've been testing. So those are the requirements. Nigeria has come out, that's what Nigeria has come out with. Will soon be announced today, Nigerian International Passenger Travel Portal. This portal tells you exactly what you will do for passengers who are coming or are going out. That will soon come out today. They will give the link, and you can go there and see how you pay your money, whatever, all the tests you will do. It's important. And again, as I said, remember this. You are coming from another country to our country. You are living in our country. Everybody has their own protocol. Everybody has their own public health requirement, which you must meet. Right now, the whole world is faced with a travel ban. You must do quarantine, or you can't even if you have that, you start to do vaccination. So there are a lot of things going on there. So we are taking it bit by bit, moving by step. We are making gradual progress. That's how we want to enter it.
Three things, sir. I want to know what we have on ground. And I ask this because there have been conflicting reports as regards what we have on ground. What has been, the communication like with the airlines? And thirdly, I also want to ask about, the financial state due to all this COVID pandemic of the organization you once led, sir. Because we had some reports about struggles to pay salaries and things like that.
Okay, let me put your mind at rest. That area at all, no threat, no, it's under control. But what do we put in place? Passengers coming, I've told you about the Nigerian International Passenger Travel Portal that will come out, that will detail how we do both immigration, passengers who are coming, those who are going out, what they need to do, how they have to pay their money online, and so that they can get their papers, get the PCR test done. So all those are there. But let me say this. First, passengers who are coming into the country, the requirement is very clear, and it's detailed. Some will come out also today. A lot will come out in black and white, step by step, what you must do. What you have to do, you must have taken a COVID test, and you must have a negative result before you can board. And it will be taken at least 24 hours before you travel, or 48 hours before you travel, but not less than 7 days. When you come here, you also have filled the portal, so you have your contact something, and you still go through our own system here. If not, nobody will board you on the other side. When you arrive here safely, it's very, very important that you, at that time, obey the requirement that are here. They're also listed in that portal. Now, what do you do here? You check your temperature. They'll check all the medical people at the airport will check you. They'll see what you have. You'll show your receipt for the portal that you have paid. They will also they'll check your passport. You are valid, and you can come in. People have been worried about passport. They will see their passport. That it's not like that. They promise us that it's not even necessary. Once you know, we have your documentation. Before you travel, you already have your documentation in that portal. They're already assessing you before you come in. And that's what it's going to go through. So when you come in, of course, we want to do our own test also, as you have done tests on the other side. So you are allowed to go. You can go and do, if you're okay, you go and do what we call voluntary isolation for 7 days. Within that 7 days, you must obey it. You're not meant to break the law. You're meant to report. And during that period, it's so nice that if you then go and take, you've already paid for it, now go to a designated place, go and do the test. If you are negative, you are good to go. However, if you are positive, they will not take care of you. Make sure you are giving proper medical attention so that you don't infect anybody. That's the procedure. And don't be ruffled. It's all over the world. Everybody's doing their own. But in Nigeria, it's very simple, it's straightforward, and that's going to be clear. Now, the question about NCA is up to its job. Just because we do changes all the time. That people have asked, they move to Abuja, or we're already online. Even if you're in Abuja and Lagos, we're already working online. So that's not like a problem. And the change they have made right now, those changes were already there before. They were going to make it in any case. And the people who are going, they are very strong men who have worked for us. They are very experienced. And those who are prisoners are the ones that would have been trained over the years. Younger ones are taken over, and they're still very experienced. So there's don't link that to it. There's no fear at all. In fact, it just happened that it happened at the same time. Nothing at all. It's solid. NCA is solid. They know what they are doing.
Well, still on the NCA, Dr. Demuren, about 2 months ago, we were told that the NCA had to even borrow money, take a loan, to be able to pay staff salaries. And now, just yesterday, we were told that the Minister of Aviation has created new directorates. If you look at those new directorates, yes, they have very impressive titles. But is this the right time to expand bureaucracy? Because that's what it looks like to me in an organization that in the face of COVID-19 was struggling to pay salaries. Then secondly, the Ministry of Aviation has not been specific, in my view, about the airlines that will be allowed into the country from certain foreign destinations. What we've been told is that Nigeria will adopt the principle of reciprocity. Isn't there a need to be more specific? If we're adopting reciprocity, does that mean we will allow flights from South Africa, where there is a very high rate of infections, or will we allow flights from China or Spain, France, Mexico, Brazil? These are high-risk countries. Or the Ministry of Aviation is just being diplomatic and keeping that under the wraps without informing Nigerians?
You know, I like your question. And this is exactly what the Minister of Aviation have been doing. Kudos to Hadi Sirika, DGNCA, No, Musa, they've done very well. And they are working closely with the Minister of Health and the NCDC. Now, let me take the first one you mentioned. You talk about why they are creating, they didn't have money to pay salary, and they are now creating more directory. Let's set the record straight. Now, the only source of money NCA gets is when they collect 5% ticket sales surcharge on the ticket that travel. But there are people are no longer traveling again. So they don't have money. We all know that they don't have any money. And government has come to their aid. Because every place in the world, government has come to their aid. You will be shocked to hear the French government gave $2 billion to Air France. $2 billion to Air France. And they gave a lot of money also to KLM. Government are supporting their own people, supporting the airline to survive. This is a crisis. When a crisis, where do they get the money? If they don't fly, they don't get money. That fund also could not get it. All the parastatals are affected because the revenue they are generating from those passengers are traveling. Passengers are not traveling, therefore don't get it. The same with the airlines. Airlines are not selling tickets, so they don't have money. So that's why this industry needs some palliative, some financial stimulus. We need some assistance to get us through. Other countries are supporting the airline. Everybody putting money into it. If not, the airline will die. If the industry dies, you and I, as I said before, we will go by canoe from here to Port Harcourt. We'll be going by road. We'll go by camel to go to the north. Aviation cannot stop. We have to help in international aviation. If that should die, are you going to take canoe from Lagos to, are you going to take a boat from Lagos to London? Abba. We need to support this industry. That's number one. Now, you said they created more departments. No, they reduced from 9 to 6. They really reduced the number of departments. They merged some. They didn't create more. They merged some. And now the people they brought up, and the people, we know them. They have been in the system for very long. Very experienced, young people. They are getting old also now. But very experienced. They've been in the system for many years. So look, don't have anxiety in that area. If anything, safety has been enhanced. They've been promoted. And we thank those who are left, who have done great work for us in flight operations, in CPD and co. They've done great work for us. We thank them. But life continues. That's what we do. So that's the first one. Now, you then mentioned about how do we handle the flights coming in. You are very right. The minister said we will limit, because of the stretch of our capability at the various airports, they will limit the number of flights in a day, maybe to about 8,200. And they are saying that maybe each flight that will come will not take more than 200 passengers. They will limit the capacity so that we don't overstretch our system. Don't forget, when you come down, you have to pass to the immigration, you have to pass the public air, you have to take your luggage, everything. And so you don't have any congestion. And we still have to make sure we obey public health protocol that we have been given. So that's what's been done. So that now the airlines are there, they're looking at it. DGNC is working around the clock. They've met already with various airlines, even with the ambassador, to discuss these issues. And so they'll be going around both to see Lagos and Abuja Airport, see how the final touch to all the policies that are put in place. We're working immigration so they won't have any delay there. We're working with our baggage so that there's no problem at the baggage or people can come out safely, go out safely. What we are trying to do, we want to open our economy in a safe way. And I must say this also, I want to give kudos to the CBA financial institution who has helped us in developing this Nigerian International Passenger Travel Portal. It's so nice, and you can see what happens there. So that's that. Let me put your mind at rest. It's very good. We did it in domestic. We started gradually, and we're now there. The same will start gradually. You can't just open everybody. And so those who want to come to Lagos will come to Lagos. Want Abuja will come to Abuja. But those are the spaces they are doing. And they are monitoring, they're talking with the airline. Who is ready? In fact, you're just saying this. What about the other country? Maybe the airline have 20 flights to Nigeria. They can't do 20 flights. Where are the passengers? Everybody is reducing fly. You know, we talked about something before. We talked about social distancing on board. Right now, the flights are not full. Even just by sitting arrangement, you can obey social distances now. It's going to grow. It's going to be gradual. It's not exactly in one day. So that's why we're here. Indeed.
Captain, you have said it rightly that if we do not fly, we do not make money. And Nigeria seems to have adopted that, approach of turning the dial rather than flipping the switch. We were told 4 flights at the moment into Abuja and Lagos airports. But for how long would you advise that should be, considering the aviation sector that is yearning so desperately for a lifeline? And I also like to explore the issue of reciprocity. What are the consequences of that on a country like Nigeria? When you look at the number of the flying public and our local carriers don't match up to their foreign counterparts. Are there any consequences we're likely to suffer there? I mean, the principle of reciprocity seems good, seems fair, but is it fair here? Would we benefit from it?
Adesua, right questions, and I appreciate your questions. Let me explain this. First, let me take the later part you mentioned, reciprocity. We have a lot of foreign airlines coming in. Over the years, we in aviation, we have discussed this. But don't forget that political decisions government have to take. And sometimes political decisions and taking consideration, they don't match. But political always override. It may be a good government policy to say, I want to fly, I want you to go to this country. I want this country to bring passengers in Nigeria. It may be good politics, it may be bad economics. So I understand what you are saying. But this is also an opportunity for us to address that. Okay? What we need to do, we need to help our domestic airlines. Domestic airlines are suffering. It's tough for them. Competition is heavy. Now, until recently, the government has promised, we are very happy they promised, they will give them a window of single-digit interest rate. Before that, what are they paying? Up to yesterday, 25%. You say, how can you make money? 25% borrow money from the bank. And then you don't have easy access to Forex. So how do you pay this rate? How do you do all those things you want to do? So those are the things that we have to look at with the foreign airline. So we need to help our foreign airline. We need to build them up so that what we can do with the existing budget we have. Of course, we have opportunity. We can readdress it. We can go back to give a notice that we want to readdress certain things. But as we are doing that, it's most important that we don't forget at any time to do to support our domestic airline. Supporting domestic airline is basically giving the opportunity to compete. They need to quote share. But in doing that also, one thing that our domestic airline, while we are helping them, we also need to reduce the charges they're having. You must have read what came up online, how charges have killed on the west coast of our operation. You have a ticket of $90, but total ticket, the airline is getting $90, but the total cost of the ticket is about $800. The rest are going as charges to government in Nigeria, to government in Ghana, to various organizations. We cannot operate that way. We need to sit down and review those charges so that we can do a good job. When we're talking about a single African market, we're talking about open our market. Those are the things we need to discuss to make sure. But I agree with you. But we can turn this into golden opportunity, and we must not shy away from it. We must make sure we help our airline. They will quote share. For instance, if you are coming to Lagos and you don't come to Abuja, We can carry passengers from you to go to Abuja. And we have only opened, listen, government just opened 2. We are going in phases. We'll still open also Port Harcourt. We'll open Kano. We'll open all the rest. Just have done on domestic scene. We do it gradually so that we make sure that we have adequate medical facility that can handle those things. If you don't do that, what happens? You have to be careful. We don't want to have a situation where we will aid the spread of COVID-19. We want to control it, we want to curtail it, not to spread it. So we have to make sure we have the facility ready. That's what they are doing, and they're doing very well. We must continue to help them, support them, obey the rules, wear your face mask, do sanitizer, do everything. We have to do all those laws. We must obey those laws when we do it to be well. Listen, another thing is this. You want to help the domestic airline. If bankers, when I look at them every time, I really smile. I don't like them because of the high interest rate they charge, but they are providing good service. If you have this card, this is an ATM card. I bank with Access Bank, this ATM bank, but I can go to GT Bank and collect money. I can go to Zenith collect money. I can go to anything. But when we buy Nigerian airline ticket domestic, if it's ARI, I can't give it to Aero. I can't give it to Airpeace. That's what the passengers want. So we want that ticket to be transferable. In doing that, so there'll be cooperation, collaboration, and consolidation of the airline. When they are strong like that, they are heavy, they'll be able to move it off. Last thing you said, I don't want to miss it. When we now open those airports, we will to develop the airport. They become major hub. Our airline will be strong. Then we will not lose out. We have to think outside the box. My sister, we have to think outside the box. We know that we already, it's like saying you want to play Premier League. Your own is in Premier League. I'm in 3rd league. I'm in National. You say we should play. I can't win now. You defeat us. It's not possible. So we have to increase our own airline to go up. And you need money. You must put money inside there. You need to put money there. Of course, they need corporate governance. It's not a one-man show. It's my family business. We have to interfere with the governance. That is all wrong. We should not do that. We have to put proper governance in and then run it. We can prosper in this business. We can prosper. 10% of passengers in Africa are from Nigeria. Those who pay money, about 20% of revenue is from Nigeria. Okay. We can prosper. We do it very well. Nigerian domestic scene is fantastic. 5 million people are flying. It's not even enough, but 5 million is good.
Okay. I want to quickly come in here. Great things you've said. Okay. In fact, my first question will be around how we can quickly make code sharing possible. Because, I mean, you were talking about the banks, and it was because of the, the innovative thinking of Emir Sanusi that was possible. Formerly, with one ATM, you have to go to the ATM. But secondly, I also want to quickly, if you've got just answer this in about a minute, I want to quickly talk about information dissemination this season. We hear lots of information. I mean, we heard about an Ethiopian flight that was going to land even before things opened up. I don't know what happened. We've seen lists here and there of flights that are coming to Nigeria once things open up. Another thing, they would debunk the list. If you can talk about it in just about a minute as we start to wrap up, sir.
Okay, let me say this. I agree. Information is power. It has to be timely information also. Things are changing. The situation is changing per minute. So please bear with us. But today, as I said, the Nigerian International Travel Portal will be out. A lot of information will be there to see what we are doing. We need to give adequate information to our people to know what they want to do, where we are going. Without that, we really cannot. We can make way. I think I agree with you on that. We need to improve our information dissemination technique. Now we have online, we have technology. We can do all that, so that can easily be done. With our domestic airline, just as you have said, we need to support them. We need to support them. They need to. If you have beautiful girls, you want people to marry. There are many of them. And you make them presentable to the suitors. The foreign airlines who want to partner with them, then we'll say, this is beautiful, this time. You don't just let them look like nobody will take that. The way we are right now, we are taking the crumbs under the table. It should not be so. It's our market. And in an agreement between two nations, it has to be mutual. Exchange is not robbery if it's a fair exchange. But if it's not balanced, you are taking every time taking the crumbs, it won't last, it will crumble no matter what you do. And they are ready to help us. We should not maybe let our airline be strong domestic carrier, strong in air. When they do that, they can carry for them. They can carry passenger, do up and spoke for them in Nigeria, carry passenger from all over the West Africa, bring them to Nigeria for them to carry and bring out. We need to support our airline, but they need money. I must confess to you. And I'm happy Adi Sirika, our honorable minister, is working very hard on this to get single-digit interest rate. They even want to give money to be able to help to pay some salary of the staff because we have a very, the workforce is heavy and we need to be able to keep them alive.
Well, thank you very much, Dr. Demuren, for joining us on the morning show today. Thank you very much indeed for your very illuminating insights.